Good morning, peace and blessings. Happy Friday. Today is the day that Venus governs, and it is Friday. I love that. And when I came outside out of my apartment, I just was like, oh my goodness, how beautiful it is out here. Like, it is so gorgeous. I don't even know, like, if I can, it's just like a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's like, wow. So Venus is the day that I asked for donations, and Venus is the planet that governs reciprocity, like really creating reciprocity, like creating benefit where you get benefit. And so that's what the donation asking is about. It reminds me so much of when I used to go to Christian church and they used to pass the pot around, right? There was something to that, as you can imagine. But I remember I used to have a lot of resistance to it. And I had a lot of resistance to it because I always felt like the pastor of the church was thriving and the congregants were not. And that didn't feel right to me. It was like, why? Why would we make somebody rich and our community is not thriving? And so, but what I've discovered is that the universe blesses you. It's not about the person, really. Like, the universe blesses your intention. Your intention is what's at the core of it. And so I've had to really learn how to let go of those old ways of thinking, the old ways I was trained and the conditioning, so that I could actually really step into a new way of relating to energy and cause and effect and reciprocity. And beneficial exchange is a real thing. So if you get benefit here, if what I offer benefits you, if it helps your life be better, if it helps you thrive in any sort of way, if it helps you get free, if it helps you heal, I encourage you, I invite you to donate. You can do so any amount. I don't care. Honestly, it's not even, or it's not even about the money. You can donate your energy by saying thank you, or this helps me, or this is how it helps. Let me tell you what I really love. I really love to hear the particular thing that I have offered that helped you really shift your reality, because I know that this work is deep and personal, and I also know that the reason that I do it is because it wasn't out there in the world. Like, I studied with all of these people. I studied with Michael Beckwith, and I loved him, and I learned so much from him. And I studied with Catherine Woodward Thomas and Calling in the One, and I loved her, and I learned so much. But I never learned from people how to really be present to my most intimate experiences and feelings and give them value. No one helped me understand that. And so I was always skipping over parts of myself and thinking parts of myself were too much or denying it. And so I realized, as I started studying astrology, I was like, oh, we're missing a whole thing here. Like, there's so much to our humanity that's not being addressed, because people are really positioning themselves unconsciously to look good, right? And that's what I saw in my relationship when I've worked with, the people at Calling in the One. Like, there were things that are being said, but the backstory, the real truth of what's happening wasn't in alignment. And so what that let me know is that something wasn't being addressed. Something wasn't being looked at. Something wasn't being turned over. And the astrology helped me see that. And the nuances of the astrology are very significant. They're very significant to our well-being and our development. So if the work that I offer here supports you, you can donate at my Cash App, $Monique Ruffin, and it has to be Monique Ruffin all the way spelled out. It's not Monique Ruff. Or you can do it at Venmo, which is the @ Monique-Ruffin. Thank you. Or you can share anything that has supported you that has worked in your life, that has helped you really have a better experience, a easier experience, a more peaceful experience in any area of your life. So thank you very much for that. And today is a Venus day, and Venus is currently at the 11th degree of Cancer. The moon is also in Cancer, so we have this really sweet energy, and Mars just left Cancer and moved into Leo, which I'll talk about on Tuesday. But I'm very excited for that because that means that our creative self-expression is going to be coming online in a new way. Okay, so Venus, like I said, is the planet of restoration and beauty and expansion and relating. It's how we love. It's our emotions. And so Venus in Cancer is a lot of feelings, a lot of deep emotions, a lot of internal feelings. But Cancer is the nurturer, the healer, the mother. And so we have this opportunity while Venus is in Cancer to restore our emotional world, to really bring ourselves back to a new level of equilibrium internally. And what does that mean? For me, that means that I get to look at the areas of my life when I was a child where I really wasn't mothered in the way that that was for me, right? And, it's like one of the things that I'm very aware of at this time, especially as a Black woman, is that many of us, because of this country and because of the systems with which we have been conditioned in and indoctrinated into, we carry so much trauma. And the trauma that we carry is generational, it's ancestral. So, I remember when I had my child, when I first had him, just holding him to my breast and breastfeeding him. And I breastfed him for 3.5 years to the point that I was like, how are we gonna stop this? I don't even know. But what was also a part of it was that I wasn't breastfed by my mother. And so while I was breastfeeding him, I was nurturing and healing the part of myself that wasn't breastfed. And so this Venus in Cancer allows us to come back to what it is that we need to feel secure, to feel connected to ourselves, to feel safe inside of ourselves, to feel home inside of ourselves. It's so important. One of my most favorite film is The Wiz. Who else's favorite film is The Wiz? My favorite film is The Wiz, right? And I was listening to a post by a friend of mine today. I think she calls herself Mystic Muse. Her name is Camille, but I don't know her I don't know her IG tagline, but she was doing the, home is inside of yourself. Wherever you are is home. When you have nurtured yourself and you know what you need and you know how to care for yourself and you know how to restore yourself. When you can be responsible for what you need, then you know that home is inside of you, because that is the nature of this system that we're in. Literally, everything comes from within us. So the moon today was at the 4th degree of Cancer when I checked, and the 11th degree of Cancer for Venus is flowering. So your care for yourself, your nurturing of yourself will allow you to flower, taking care of your emotional world, your emotional well-being, your emotional stability, your mental health, right? Giving yourself what you need. This morning I just spent some time. I do some really interesting things for self-care. I love it. So I wash my face in honey, right? Isn't my skin beautiful? I love my skin. It's so gorgeous. I wash my face in honey. I use rose oil all over my body. I bathe. I just do really wonderful things to help myself feel good in my body. I eat healthy foods. I drink teas. I drink water. I drink watermelon juice. I drink coconut water. All these things to nurture myself, to hydrate my body. Cancer is absolutely about hydration. And that is self-care, right? A lot of us think self-care, whatever is fine, is getting your nails done, which I don't do that kind of stuff because it doesn't, because I use my hands a lot and I don't and the polish doesn't last long. So there's no point in it for me. But self-care is this deep internal practice of nurturing and loving ourselves. So we have Venus and the moon in Cancer on a Friday, on a Venus day, and it's all about nurturing and caring for yourself as your mother, as a mother would, the energy of the mother, right? Don't think of your particular mother, because how did my mother took care of me in her own ways, right? So my mother used to be like, sometimes it's hard to say. She was so interesting. She'd be like, baby, now I know you're going to like to screw. One day you're going to get older and you're going to like to screw. And I'm going to just make sure you're okay before you get there. Then she would take me to the doctor to get some birth control pills, and I would be mortified. But she was taking care of me. She knew that my sexuality was coming online. She knew that that meant that I could get pregnant, and she knew that somebody had to prepare me for that, and she did it. And the way she did it felt like, but it helped and it worked. And so, consider some of the ways that your mother took care of you. My mother also baked lemon meringue pies and cooked incredible food and did all sorts of things that were really very nurturing. Not to mention that she always washed her panties and bras by hand. Because she was just that much of a queen. Anyway, so today, make sure you're doing things with the intention, because it's about the intention of caring for yourself. And if you set that intention strong inside, when you're in spaces that don't feel aligned with that intention, you will feel it. And you can do what? You can get up and excuse yourself and go on into doing something that does feel aligned. So I'm the Moon Mama. Thank you in advance for your donations, for your thank yous, for the stories that you share. I really appreciate you. I love you. And I'm so grateful to be here today. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.